Welcome back. And Mr. Dagunro, you were saying something about Nigeria not paying as much VAT, value-added tax, as some other countries. And so if this is coming from the SCT, that's this new proposed tax, shouldn't they be fine?
You see, let me tell you, VAT is different, from this telecommunication tax, value-added tax. Why I say that was because you should expect at one point in time, this has to be increased, or this will be increased. You see, that's why I'm saying that we have to be transparent. If you want to even increase any of these taxes, you give the people enough time. That is what I know. That I say, look, I mean, when taxes were being increased in Germany, for instance, I live there, and I know that they give you enough time, maybe 6 months, 9 months, or 1 year, to say we're going to increase this tax based on this and this and that. I was telling someone, I said, listen, even when the Berlin Wall crumbled, the Germans were asked to pay a 2% solidarity tax. People pay gladly because they knew that willingly and gladly to say, okay, look, let's help these people. They are a poor bunch of people, this and that and that. And they said, for a period of time, you are going to pay. Transparency, for goodness sake. And listen, if you are telling us that, look, you want to have technology hubs in all the states, in all the local governments of Nigeria, this is what you want to do. And please, not just in theory, that, look, we want to be developing, software. We want to create these, technology ideas, that we want to create our own, Zuckerberg or Yahoo thing. This is a country whereby we don't have our own...
not Yahoo.
No, not Yahoo. You see, what we're saying, look at China that we always run to. There's Weibo in China. There's Alibaba in China. You cannot get Google somehow in everywhere part of China. They have their own thing.
Yeah.
This is what we should be thinking of, not just to tax and tax and say, what do you want to do with that? So, if you want to do this and create your own providers for this, youths in this country, people will support you, but not just to tell me you want to do infrastructure. What infrastructure? Let me know.
Okay, let's go back to Mr. Ogunbanjo.
Yes.
You have said...
I have a question for Mr. Ogunbanjo.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Ogunbanjo. How will this affect the way consumers use telecom services? That is, I am just, in case it becomes law.
Thank you very much. You see, let me again bring you back to Ghana, that actually had reduced import duties on handsets. They had to reduce from 20 to 10%. And also, in addition, the government also removed VAT on imported handsets. Now, what this means is that they want more people. We're now talking about cashless society. We want so many things to be done, without carrying cash all around. The equipment to use, to be used for this cashless society is the mobile phone. And that is why the Ghanaian government says, look, let more people have access to phones. Let us ensure that it is cheaper to acquire, and then make our, citizens have more phones, more cheap phones, even when we're importing them. Now, how would it affect the Nigerian, consumer? Unfortunately, we are going it the wrong way. Rather than plug leakages, we are now saying we are introducing another set of taxes. Subscribers and consumers will suffer, jobs will again suffer job losses. Already, the recession is making so many companies retrench. Labor is now at some companies' throats. They are saying they shouldn't retrench. Government, in its wisdom, now want to, themselves, cut jobs in the telecom industry, because they are also looking at achieving by 2018, which is just around the corner, a minimum of 30% broadband penetration. That can never be achieved with the way they are going, and Nigerians will suffer a lot of job losses. This is not going to work at all, and Nigerians will resist this.
Okay, you said that consultation, is not being done, and you want stakeholders, the ministry to bring the stakeholders on the table to talk about this. What would you be proposing if, for instance, you are part of that discussion?
Oh, thank you very much. I will just tell them, for God's sake, the 9% communication service tax bill should be forgotten for now. This is not the time at all. Then let them plug leakages. There are, for instance, over 700,000 companies are not paying taxes at all. The FIRS should, stand up and ensure that they respond to, tax collection very well. The state government should also ensure that rather than look up to, telecom industry to start extorting the industry, they should also plug leakages in their state and ensure that they collect taxes, from the companies. And let me also tell you that Nigerians want cheaper telecommunication services so that they can be commercially engaged and economically viable through technology.
Okay. Mr. Ogmanjo, we need to wind down now. So we'd like your last word on this. Mr. Ogmanjo?
Ma?
Did you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry?
Okay.
I think...
Sorry. What are you saying?
The issue is this. You can tax the people more on some other areas, like in Rwanda, like what you're saying. The president of Rwanda said, look, if cigarette is not something you need in your life, we'll tax cigarette, tobacco tax. We don't need it. It's not an essential commodity. If
alcohol.
Yes, alcohol. There are things that they are not essential in your life. If you tax those ones, I think people will clap for you. But the point is this: if you begin to look at the way the youths are, wanting to have jobs, you are just talking about paying 30,000 for a graduate and all that. So now we have not had a kind of policy. We just come up with so many of these things. We don't have policies. What is our technology policy for Nigeria? What is our foreign affairs policy? We don't really have. We don't know the policies of the government. Only for us to just come out and one man or one minister will just come out and define something and say it. So if there are policies, if there are programs, I say this is a 5-year program, this is a 25-year program, this is a 15-year program, then we follow it through. Then we have some time ago we have this development program, SDG and MDG and all those. MDG was the millennium. We thought that these things would just come and go. Then what have we spent that money for? There was no money spent on that. Then you have sustainability now. Why are we sustaining anything? What you have not created, you can't sustain it. So there are a lot of things you have to begin to. I think sometimes we just sit back and look at it and say, okay, look, let's do it. The senators and the rep guys, they're having it so good. Yes, they're having it so good. And that's why they can sit back and begin to say, let's do this, let's do this. Do they commune? Do they even interact locally with their constituency to find out? I believe if any of the senator or any of the rep guys should go to his constituency and have a meeting, whatever meeting they say they're having, they will have the backlash. They will know definitely that these people are not interested. They will go back and say, no, I've consulted. But there's no consultation going on, so they take the people for a ride. So if you are telling me that somebody said, I don't know the petrol price, must you say that? These are the kind of things you talk and people just, are they not living in the country? Why should an elite just come out? Whoever that person is and say, look, I don't even know the cost of petrol. All I need to do, call for a car and drive. So these are the people that they don't even know what we are paying. The cost of per second or per minute, while other people are saying that roaming should be free. Like what that gentleman said, block the leakages. Have we ended up, what was the result of the leakage? How did MTN went away with the money? They said they didn't do anything wrong. Have we concluded that? Because we don't even know the policy. They say, oh, the policy is too cumbersome. We can't meet all these demands, all these challenges. Let's begin to have clear policies in this country and let's follow it through. And it is then we begin to see that the reality, Nigerians are good people. It is not enough to just say change begin with me. Change should begin with the reality of what we want for this country and follow it through. Okay. I think those are the things we need to do.
Okay. Mr. Ogmanjo,
yes,
you spoke earlier about Ghana reducing the taxes on, import taxes on handsets. Now, I have heard NCC complain a number of times